Hey, what's up guys? This is your boy Travis back again here at Big Boy Toy Reviews. And today we are taking a look at the Revoltech. Not Amazing Yamaguchi, just Kyoto. But we're taking a look at the Revoltech Himiko Toga from My Hero Academia. And I know this is another typical late review for me, but I don't have to. Well, it makes no sense to keep explaining why these videos are late. So we know how the shipping issues are these days. But anyway, yeah, this is I don't know. I think they have come out with quite a few My Hero Academia figures. I saw that All Might on Mandarake, and man, that All Might is going for some paper right now. And I definitely don't want to pay the amount that they're asking for that All Might. I would like to have it, but maybe I'll wait for SH Figure Arts to make an All Might. But anyway, here is Toga. And for the most part, she looks pretty good. You do have your typical Revoltech issues. Now, I will say right out the gate that mine broke when I first pulled it out the box. I did fix it with some super glue, but be careful if you still haven't gotten this figure yet and you're thinking about getting it. This dress, especially this back part or the front part, it can happen in the front too, because they're both connected in the same way. I don't know if you can see that or not, but let me try to zoom in here. So you can see like some of the paint actually got on her leg, but this little like maroonish, brownish piece right here, it's basically connected. They may have glued it to these two pieces. It's got the same type of piece in the back. I don't know if I'll be able to show it in the back. You can kind of see it there in the back, but yeah, that piece snapped on. Actually, it might not even be connected right now that I think about it. Is it? It's not pulling apart. I can't really tell. Anyway, it's separated from the piece that looks like this that's in the back, and I had to super glue it back together, and so it actually wasn't that easy to do either. Like, it wasn't very, I don't know, for some reason it wouldn't stick very well, but it looks like it's fine now. It's not like coming off, so that's good. But yeah, her little skirt piece is floaty, and it does kind of cause some gapping issues. I know I'm not on articulation, but it is kind of part of the aesthetic as well, because you will get this gapping. Now, I don't know if that's just happening on my figure because that piece broke on me, but this middle piece also moves. So that's really the piece that's causing the dress to move up and down. Like her underwear right here are connected to her this like triple hip to torso joint. So it's like a wide joint here, and the wide joint right in the middle has a little peg in it, and the underwear have a peg hole where the peg is supposed to go into, and it's not quite in there. So I don't know if that's supposed to be glued in there or if it's supposed to be able to adjust like this and move around. I don't, with Revoltech, you never really know. So it almost feels like her dress is about to fall down all the time, but I can like peg it in and get it to stay. I haven't attempted to glue it yet, but I feel like the shifting that it does is part of the articulation, possibly. So I'm kind of scared to glue it because I might lose some mobility, which with this figure, we'll get into the articulation later. You'll see what the mobility is like. But I will say that some of the bad things. She has the same issue that Ochiko had, where for some reason they made her neck wider than the hole that her neck goes into, and so you get this huge gap, and you have to almost like push her neck down and kind of like jut her head out like that to cover up that gap. It's the same thing that you had to do on Ochiko in order to get her gap to go away too, and they just repeated it here, and it's fucking horrible. I don't know why they keep doing that. Just make the neck long enough and skinny enough to go into the hole, and you won't have these issues. Just make it long enough and skinny enough, and we'll be good. But I don't know why they keep just seeing this gap. I know they see it. I don't know if it was in the promo pictures or not, but if it was, I might not have caught it. But anyway, you're gonna have to deal with the Revoltech joints on this. I mean, it is what it is with these. They are made for extreme mobility, even though sometimes, especially with these female figures and these skinny figures, sometimes the joints are just ugly and not as useful as they are in the bigger figures. So sometimes they aren't as beneficial as they're supposed to be, and then they're just aesthetically ugly at that point. So we'll get in that in the articulation later. But as far as the rest of it, you do have to deal with this floaty piece all the time. Like, again, so, you know, if you lift this up, she basically has no stomach. And so you hopefully you can, you know, whatever pose that you try to put her in, you pose that away, because that will look ugly in different poses. As far as the paint work and stuff, the paint work on the body and that like schoolgirl type of uniform that she has going on is done really nicely. The line work, the white paint there is done really nicely. Even here all the way on the back. The little paint that she does have, because everything else is kind of cast in that color. I think this might be painted. Her socks here might be painted, and her shoes are probably painted too as well. But these pieces are done very nicely. And then you got her head sculpt, which also is done really, really good. That is definitely her. That is definitely her. I do think that her little buns on the side are a bit muddy. The paint is a bit muddy on those. You can't tell as much when you're just looking at the figure, but obviously as zoomed in as I am, you can really see it. You can tell that this one is much better painted than this one here. So that is unfortunate, but everything else on her face looks great. So she does have, her bangs are a little muddy too. That is unfortunate, but again, that's not something you can really see with the naked eye, but zoomed in like this, obviously. But other than that, you got to deal with the ugly joints and stuff, and that's just kind of how Revoltech is. So anyway, we've been talking almost 10 minutes just about the looks of this girl, so let's go ahead and move on to the accessories. Okay, and here are all of her accessories spread out here. We got the 2 leg or thigh replacements, I should say, for her knives. So that's pretty cool. We got all her faces. She comes with a ton of faces, so including the face she already has on, she comes with 6 faces, which includes 4 open mouth faces, because the one that came with her on the box is in the box is open mouth. And this is kind of like a blushing face, like she wants to kiss somebody. And then we got the evil smiling face. So that is a good spread of faces, if I do say so myself. Then we got other pieces to her outfit. We got like the big mouth here, the extra belt piece, the extra knives that actually do fit in the knife sheath where the holes are missing. You see there's a missing hole right there. Does slide in there, so that is pretty cool. Then we got a plethora of hands, open hands, pointing hands, knife holding hands. Looks like there's 2 knife holding hands. Maybe those are for holding one of these. These are like the injection needles or something. And then we got these little rope things or whatever these were that she had in the anime. So yeah, she gets a ton of stuff, and that's even without, I think she had came with an extra face if you bought the extra face, but they charge so much for extra face, for one extra face. It's just not worth the price in my opinion. So anyway, that is it for all her accessories. Okay, so let's take a look at her articulation. So as far as the head is concerned, she can only look up about that much, so not really much at all. You are being blocked by the hair for the most part there. Looking down, she can look down that much. She does get side to side. You do get 360 exorcist style there. As far as the shoulders, they are the Revoltech shoulders, so they work like a Revoltech joint. You can go a little bit past parallel. They do spin all the way around. There is somewhat of a butterfly here. Let's see if I can get that to work. Ooh, it didn't like me spinning it around like that at all. Okay, maybe there isn't. I don't know how that just got really tight like that. Let's take a look at this one. Now that one just scared me because I twisted it around. Let me go back again here. I don't want to break that, so I am definitely gonna have to put some kind of joint oil in there. Yeah, as far as a butterfly, no, she doesn't really get any type of butterfly movement out of that. That is pretty terrible, actually. So that kind of sucks. We'll stay on this arm. As far as a bicep swivel, you're gonna have to deal with the shoulder swivel, and I think and an elbow swivel. They didn't sculpt a bicep swivel there. And then obviously you get the ball hinge wrists. As far as the torso is concerned, just using the diaphragm joint, she can go back about that far. Forward, not really, but if you use all the joints, she can go back really far. Then forward, still not that great. And then it kind of looks like she has a pudgy belly or something, like she got a fupa because of this piece here. Side to side is fine. Side to side is pretty good. The torso is solid. You just get a lot of gapping if you go too far. But you can, if you're good at posing, you can definitely get some decent poses out of here. Again, I don't know if this is supposed to be glued or not. As far as the legs are concerned, she can go out about that far. This does split. Yeah, looks like that does split. But you can split it all the way and kick the leg through. So she can get the full splits, but I wouldn't recommend it, especially with mine. Now I'm probably gonna break that piece off again. But you can kind of see what I was talking about. Like, it has a peg right here, and then there's a peg hole right there that's supposed to peg into. Anyway, let's go ahead and just leave that off for now. As far as a thigh swivel, you can get a thigh swivel kicking forward. Might have to, I'll show you how to put this back on. Now ideally, you can actually take these thighs off too. So this is kind of how they are put together, how Revoltech is put together in some instances, I guess. So let's see, this piece goes here. Yeah, again, I don't know if this is supposed to like stay pegged in there. I think it might be better if I just glue that piece back in. I think things will work out a lot better. So I don't think that piece is supposed to be out, but I'll just deal with it for right now. But you kind of you kind of see what issues you could have with this figure if you decide to get it. Now I got to figure out what leg this is. Is this right? Yeah, that looks right. So I guess that's correct. So yeah, you have to deal with that kind of stuff. But anyway, as far as the leg, see if we can get it up. She can kick up. I mean, it is hard to maneuver her. She is not kicking up more than this at the moment. Do I have the leg? No, that's how they were put on. That's how they go. And there we go. Okay. Yeah. It's not letting me kick up any more than this, so that's kind of sucky there. Double jointed knee, over 90 degrees. Then you got the foot. It doesn't go up very far. Down. It goes down pretty far. You do get a good ankle rocker and a toe hinge that's probably too far back on the foot. But yeah, this leg, I don't know if mine is just stiff. And you just saw me take it apart, so it shouldn't be that stiff, to be honest with you. Yeah, I think I'm going to end up gluing this in on mine. I don't think this is supposed to move around like that. I really don't. So I'm going to assume this is supposed to be glued in, and I'll be gluing that in on mine. So I could have actually broken two pieces, but you can kind of see what I was talking about earlier, what I was trying to show you with this. See how they're glued in here and here? This is the part that came off. And so you can kind of see some of the glue that I had there. But it looks like it's on there pretty good now, so that's good. So anyway, that's it for articulation. That's probably some of the most disastrous articulation I think I've ever done on this channel. I've had some pretty shit figures. Ugh. Yeah, that is just frozen now. Yeah, I'll have to oil that up before I start moving it again. Anyway, let's go ahead and do some comparisons. Okay, and here she is next to one of snail shell figures. And then we have Sengoku from Keep Going Studios. So that's what she looks like with some third-party figures. And here she is next to the Revoltech Ochiko and the Buzzmod Mitsuri from Demon Slayer. So here she is next to her homie from Revoltech. I do plan on getting the SH Figuarts version because that version is many times better than this one, and then probably the same for this one too. I've seen reviews of both of them, and yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to get the SH Figuarts version of each one of these, but that's what she looks like with Ochiko. Okay, and finally here she is next to the Buzzmod. Why am I blanking on her name? Yuki, is that right? No, Yoko Littner. The Buzzmod Yoko Littner. Then we got another Revoltech here. We got the Revoltech Harley Quinn, which is a way better Revoltech than she is. The SH Figuarts Romance Dawn Nami, and then we have a Marvel Legends Miss Marvel. So yeah, that is it for comparisons. All right, so to wrap this up, yeah, you saw the review. I mean, if you watched the whole review, she was falling apart in my hands. I did end up gluing her little crotch part area. We'll see how that turns out. She does look a lot better with all her gear on, so I do like that. It kind of hides the ugly shoulder joints a little bit. But other than that, I mean, just wait for the SH Figuarts version to come out, to be honest with you. This one, if by the time that this video is posted, it's probably already out at this point. So if the SH Figure Arts version is out, yeah, snatch that one up. Don't bother getting this Revoltech version. It sucks. It really does suck. And I hate to say that because as far as it looks, I like the way that it looks despite the ugly Revoltech joints. I like the way that it looks. I like the gear that it comes with, like all her equipment and stuff. But Jesus Christ, is she a mess to handle. And obviously you can pose like this fupa, you can kind of pose that away, even though I didn't do a very good job of it. But yeah, I would pass on this one and just go with the SH Figure Arts if I were you. But anyway, that is it for the review. Please comment, like, and subscribe. And until next time, peace.